Awesome.
Cool.
All right, are you ready?
Yep.
All right. What's up, guys? We're here at SHOT Show 2023, Artisan Cutlery, CJRB. We got Russell here showing us some cool knives. We got some new releases and also a bunch of prototypes. Really excited for.
So many.
I gotta tell you, man, the one I was most excited to come see today was the Andromeda. Is that what it's called?
That's the one, Laconico Andromeda.
I'm a little bit upset though because I wanted the Arctic Storm one and I was gonna try and buy it.
We only made like 12 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Blade Show West. We only did a few of those, and they turned out really good. We still have some of the Sith Lord versions out, so the black and lava.
Sweet.
But so we have several versions of the Andromeda available. We have the standard tie one. This is kind of the evolution of the standard tie one. Normally we have just a plain satin tie with micromilling. This one has the fat carbon and black and all the bells and whistles, but this thing is just like so like buttery and nice.
I love how thin it is and just smooth, man.
It's a nice
Thin,
one. Ray,
smooth.
the original design of this one was actually supposed to be a lot bigger. I actually pitched this to Ray as almost like a 4-inch, like more tactical model, and Ray doesn't do a lot of those. He's like, I like that idea. That's kind of cool. And then we got these protos in the 3 and the 3.5, and Ray's just like, I love it. Nope, keep it. Don't change a dang thing. And we did, and so far they've been great sellers. They're very they are a little bit more tactical compared to what we normally see from Laconico. But I think overall it still is a very nice EDC if you like a thinner blade. So we have that one is kind of like the combined like high-end and special edition. We have the mid-range version. So these come in either a black mic card with a black blade or this satin blade with the green mic card. These are an S35. So you have all the bells and whistles of the high end, but you have this in micarta. And I actually am quite fond of this green one. I love that this has a nice that's green canvas and it's got a wonderful texture to it.
Really nice micarta. I wanted to say too, like, such a smooth action with the button too.
We've gotten really good at the button locks.
Yep. They're getting more and more popular, and like not everybody does a good job with them. And you know, there's been a couple incidents recently with failures and that kind of thing.
Crunchy.
Yeah, but
and then we just got this one out. So this is actually kind of more of a budget end Andromeda. This one is G10 and RPM 9. So we kept this one in kind of that $60, $70 price point.
Nice.
And this one comes with the same profile as this, nice smooth button, all that, but it's just a simple flat G10. And this one is in RPM 9 steel, so that's our proprietary steel. And honestly, I think this one, you know, if you like this knife and you say you had this one, I don't think I want to carry that one all the time because I don't want to I wouldn't want to lose this one. This one's the one that goes out, I need a beater.
Yeah.
At the price point, it's hard to beat, and you still get the same styling and design. And honestly, the flat G10, I do like kind of a more flat scale on some knives. I think this one, it doesn't have the same like premium feel as the contouring, but it does stick in the hand nicely.
Yeah. There's
something about this one that I really enjoy, and I'm very happy with the way this turned out.
Really cool. How much do the Fat Carbons one go for, by the way?
The Fat Carbon one, since we did them as limited runs, they're around like $350, but you got to be able to find one. We might make more in the future, but I'm not sure there'll ever be a full standard run of them.
Maybe it's a good thing you didn't have the Arctic Storm one.
I couldn't sell it to you here. I don't want shot to can me. But so for the other button locks, I pulled out 2 of the other ones that we just got out, and these ones have been massively popular. Like, jeez. I've been getting calls like so much about these knives. I'm like, I gotta work, guys.
I've got the White Mountain Knives Pyrite. I haven't been able to look at any of the aluminum ones yet. But
the Knife Center one is the one that I'm like,
okay,
I want to get one of those.
Yeah.
The Blade HQ one with the purple fat carbon is just like, ugh. But the plain steel one will always have my heart. This is the one I told our team when I saw this first time. It's like, guys, you have to do this one. Like, why? No one likes all steel. I'm like, no. Trust me.
Yeah.
So this is the full steel Pyrite, and I agree with a lot of people that have been going ham on this thing. I like the way it feels. The weight is just right. It feels nice in the hand. There's assuring weight. I know a knife doesn't have to be super like heavy to be good and tough because you get the right materials and the right build, it's gonna be just as good. But this one feels right. There's a balance to it. There's just a nice positive something to this that I can't put a finger on, but it does it just right. It is pocketed out on the inside, so it's not crazy heavy. I wouldn't even call this a heavy knife, to be honest, but it is just steel.
Yeah. But I mean, it's got so many things that people are looking for in an EDC. You got thumb studs and the button, so multiple deployment methods.
It's kind of got a choil. I think the finger choil is kind of like a half finger choil, but it's got the right kind of character to it. It's clean, it's simple. There isn't anything that's really excessive on this knife. There's nothing someone can say like, I don't really like this about this knife, unless you just don't like the knife.
Yeah.
And it keeps it, like, simplicity is key. Some of these I really can't put an exact finger on why this knife hits so well, but it really does. It's just right. And
budget friendly too, so.
I know, right? It's budget friendly, like $50 street price. Yeah. You kidding me? This thing's fantastic. So that's a steal when we do make this in G10 as well. There are many other versions out there in the world as special editions have rolled on in. So they are out there, but they are available. So we'll go just one step beyond that, because my personal favorite button lock that I've had since, well, all right, current available one, as much as I love this knife, this one's the one I've carried a bit more. This is the Lago. This is kind of, we released this, I think, like a month after this guy. And as you can see, it's a whole different concept. Like, it's got the flipper, it's got the thumb hole, it's got a bigger button, it's got more stuff. This is kind of our work-oriented version of the knife. Okay. We had this one at Blade West. This one underwent no alterations. The Pyrite got a few alterations just in jimping. We added more jimps to it, that's it. Yeah. This one needed no changes. I think this is an amazing knife, because it really is much more work-oriented. Yeah. This is a knife that you're supposed to go out, you know, this is a daily cutter. I'm gonna use this knife for hours. I'm gonna cut over with like bags of concrete. Notice that there's no termination point on this handle. It is a smooth, comfortable handle all the way through. That way, if you have big gloves on, you can still grip this comfortably. With the opening hole, like, all right, maybe I like the middle finger flick. Yeah. I like the fidget factor of it, but maybe I don't have access to that if I got a big old chunky like winter glove on, says the guy from California who doesn't know what winter feels like. But I can get in there with the middle finger. I can get in there with the thumb. I have the flipper. The flipper is nice and round and comfortable. It's not a big, like, heavy flipper. Yeah. So as long as you get it, it's good. And the button is oversized. Adds a bit more strength because it is a bigger button, which means a bigger, like, plunge lock. Operates just like you would any other button lock. Has a nice smooth. Oh, we did a whole custom clip for this one. We actually did a double wide clip, so it gives you a bit more purchase in the pocket. Yeah. I kind of like the way it looks. Yeah. It's not meant to be like a nice low profile clip. It's meant to be something that stays in your pocket comfortably.
Yeah. It goes well with the knife too, with your overall concept. Yeah.
Conceptually, it's a work knife. Yeah. It's a good work knife. I do like that red because it does kind of remind me of something like the Husky knives. Okay. Or like the Snap-on knives. Yeah. It's like, I know it's just me going to the hardware store, but I do like it. I like the character of it.
10 times better though.
It's so much better. The Lago really is like, I adore this knife. I think for what it is as a using knife, as a general daily user, it's so good. Yeah. It's so good.
That's sweet, man. I hadn't had the opportunity to fidget with that one before. So
they're both really good in their own ways. They're both very different creatures in their own right, but the button locks really make it, and the way they feel in hand, and the way they just like perform is something that we just got right on these. Yeah. They're both good, but now we have more button locks on the prototype side, which are all going in different directions. I will say that, all right, so do you want to start with the new Artisans or the new CJRBs?
You know, a lot of people, they'll save the best for last, you know, but I want to look at these ones.
All right. So, since we are working with more designers now from Artisan,
I got to see the Ferrum Forge stuff.
Oh, okay. You want to go straight to the Ferrum Forge?
Yeah.
All right. So, we're still working on the name. I've been chatting with Elliot about getting the name on this one, but this thing is distinctively Ferrum Forge. Look at that choil. Oh my God! Wait. Because I have to. It's like, yeah. Oh yeah. This thing feels so good. I've known Elliot for a long time. I've known Elliot and Chris for a while. I'm not personally just like, you know, I find some of their knives to be hit or miss sometimes, but their recent stuff and the newest models have all been just like, that's perfect. Yeah. Like, Nico over there is a huge fan. I've handled some of the oldest Ferrum Forges out there. I'm like, this is a little wild, but now that they kind of have their style very, very dialed in, their designs and their processes dialed in, there is not a single Ferrum Forge out there that isn't a winner. They're all made to a certain particular style, and they're all highly functional, highly practical, and they're just so well thought out. This one, I love how thin this is. It's a wide, chunky, big-bladed, slicey knife, but it's trim. It's thin. I'm not sure we're going to keep that really, like, kind of like, it's the tie on that one's a little slippery, but I like the way it looks. It has a little bit of light refraction to it. And there's something that I'm like, in hand, it does sit really securely. Yeah, like a shot show. We're all excited, like, oh my God, nice. But this thing is so nice.
It looks amazing.
That big fuller, that cutout, like the finger choil. Yeah. Everything's just right about the same. Yeah. And it locks in the hand. Yeah. It's like, it feels like everything we want about a Ferrum Forge. It really does.
It fills your hand nicely too as you're getting locked in there.
Exactly. Still getting the name, but we'll get that soon. I'll chat with Elliot, but man, this thing's so good.
Do you have any idea when that one's going to come out?
Not sure. The Artisan Pros is probably going to take a little bit longer than the CJRBs. We got to dial them in. We got to make sure the designers get them first and make sure they're all good. So we'll see when they come out.
Yeah.
They'll be relatively soon, probably within the next half of the year, probably.
Okay.
Unless there's some major changes that can be made. But other than that, looking good so far. So we have the Ferrum Forge. This one is one that's kind of been running a long time. This is the Seder V2. We actually had the proto. Actually, I think I have it in my pocket. Yeah, I do. So the Seder V1 was at SHOT Show last year.
Okay.
And you know what? This knife is great, but it had some key flaws, mostly with the hole and getting into there, and a few issues with just like the grind, the thickness, and just like Chris decided to make some changes to it.
Yeah.
And it took us a little while to get there because we had to do a lot of iterations, and this one's the newest one. And it's still got a few things we're working on to kind of get just right. Sorry, I struggle to get this knife back in my pocket. There we go. But we did change the blade profile. As you can see, it's a wider blade. The handle's wider. The chamfering's a bit thicker. There's a bit more oomph there. And right now, the one thing that we did on this one, just try it out. We put a front flipper.
Okay.
This is probably not going to stay.
Okay.
But the hole here is a lot more accessible. I know it's a smaller hole than the other one, but it does like. Whoop, of course, I missed it. There we go. It hits a lot better. We're probably going to take it a little farther down.
Yeah.
We want to keep it as small and effective as possible, still keeping in line with the profile. Notice how like everything lines up really nice on here.
Yeah. So if you were to get rid of the front flipper, would you do a normal flipper or
Nope.
just the thumb hole?
Yep, just thumb hole.
Okay.
That is very much Chris's thing, and I think he's on something there. I think the way this looks, this is a really clean design.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that a lot of his knives, in fact, what I'm currently carrying personally is I have the original run of the full Tyrita. Like this has been in my pocket forever. You can see the massive amount of snail trails in this thing.
Yeah.
I like Chris's designs a lot.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of his stuff. I found him to be a very like interesting guy to work with. He knows a lot about machining, and his knives come out with a particular style of cleanliness that I can't, again, put a finger on. There's a style to them.
Oh, I did it off camera. That was like, oh man, that feels good.
Yeah. But there's a distinctive style to them that's really just like on point.
Yeah.
And I like this. I love the Seder. I love the concept of it. I love how it really like, it feels, I can't tell it feels like a big knife or a small knife because it really is exactly this size. Like there's no deviation. This is where it goes. And normally knives like that tell you where to put your hands are not something I really enjoy, but this one's like, no, that's where it is.
Yeah. At least the front flipper works good.
It
you
does.
know? And I'm not even good at them.
It's a tall front flipper. It's going to be easy, but it takes away from the look. We'll see. I mean, if Chris ends up saying, yeah, we'll keep it. We'll see about that, but I think we're probably going to go back to just the thumb hole.
Yeah, I think aesthetically that's probably the way to go.
Yeah, it's a great looking knife, though. I love that middle finger flick, too. It hits so nicely. All right, so that is the Cerberus, or sorry, not Cerberus, Cerberus Knives Seder V2. And then we're getting on to one that I'm really excited about, and this one is going, this thing looks wild. Okay. I love this guy. I have known him since I was a kid, just like looked at him making knives forever. He was a big deal back when I was in my heyday. Mike Snoddy. Oh my God, this dude is so cool. Finally got a chance to work with him. I've chatted with him a lot. His designs have always been like such interesting, like dynamic, big, like out there designs. And this thing is just so good. This is the Accelerator. This is modeled after his custom model. And man, in hand, this thing is an absolute joy. Here, just play with it. Just play with it. Here, take.
Take it. Oh yeah.
That middle finger flick on this thing is like, look at that blade. Like,
that's massive, man.
It's not even that heavy either. Like,
no,
it's got a good weight to it.
And good
we
balance.
used some nice micarta on there. We'll see if we're gonna stick with micarta. He actually was going for like a yellow and black G10. We'll see. But I do like the way this looks. We matched the backspacer with a little bit of like gold tie in there. The clip has his logo on it, which I like. I think it's a little hard to see on the black, but it's got the S money on there. But just the sizes and the way those choils sit, where you get like that pinky grip and that index finger grip.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's something where it keeps that handle really trim and really slim. But man, the feel in hand is like that thing is just locked in there.
Okay, yeah, I'm loving this one, man.
It's a monster. I absolutely love it. We haven't made a big chunking knife in a while, and I think it's about time.
Yeah, that's sweet, dude. And like you said, it doesn't feel too excessive. It's just right.
It's like, it doesn't feel excessive in the hand, but the blades, oh, that is excessive. That is like, I'm just gonna go chop down a tree. God, this thing's good. We actually made sure the liners are nice and chunky, nice substantial full liners instead of inset, just to add a little bit more robustness.
Okay.
Also help to balance out the knife because this blade is so big.
Yeah.
If we did inset liners, the balance of this would be so off.
Yeah.
So full liners, just slab, contoured micarta scales, big old tie clip, just a little bit of gold in the back, a little bit of gold in the pivot, and I think this thing's good.
That's sweet.
All right, and then another iteration of something we've been working on for a bit. I know this is like the most, so many questions about this knife. This is the newest version of the rack, the rail action knife. So if you've seen this one before, this is the one that everyone's like, what the heck is it? What has this work? It's an ITF, an in the front knife. Okay. So this actually.
Did you have this at Blade Show West?
We did. We had it. We actually had the prototype, I think, at SHOT Show last year. So this one, you press the button up, you notice it's not firing.
Yeah. I still don't remember how it works, even though I think I've seen it. But what the hell?
You rack the slide like a shotgun. That pulls the knife back in. So again, push the button up, click, clack. There you go. Pull in all the way back, and that sets the spring to retract it. You can also, if I can get this on camera.
What? We're gonna have to do a YouTube short of this one.
Oh yeah,
because that's really cool.
Over it. So we did a few changes internally to this one, along with doing the inset for carbon fiber and the black PVD. There is now essentially a detent for this. So if I have this down, this shouldn't just fall out.
Okay.
Where the original one just like slid right out. As long as this is up, nothing good. Nope. Sorry, as long as it's down. My mistake. Whoops. There we go. Deployed. So as long as this is down, this isn't coming out. If it's up, it keeps it in there for the most part. But as long if you give it that good like flick, come on. There we go. Didn't do it hard enough. So I give it a good flick. There it is. Normally I want to do a big like a swing, but I'm on a phone camera.
Yeah.
And then there we go.
That is so cool.
It's such a wild design. This is one of the bosses. It's a strange knife. I know it's way out there. I know it's excessive. I know a lot of people are like, why would you want that in a knife? Because it's something that's a little different. We're trying something new. I'm not going to say anything about knife laws, but you get it.
Yeah.
And it's just you got to rock the boat a little bit for things to happen. Also a little hard to operate while you're...
Yeah.
It's a two-handed opening intentionally.
Yeah. But we're going to have to do some more with that guy.
Oh, yeah.
That's really cool.
So that thing is that's the rack, the RAK.
And that's not out yet.
We're still working on it. It's going to need a little bit of, it's going to need some more working before we finally get a final production. I'm happy we did a coating on here. It helps with the drag a lot. I'm hoping we can actually get, if we can, Lord help me, DLC on there, because that'll make it a lot smoother. But I think we're going to stick with like a PVD, like a hard PVD, and maybe do a hard anno on the inside to kind of keep that slide smooth. It needs some work, but it's a neat knife, and the concept is very much something that is just like no one's done it before. It's kind of what we got to do.
Yeah.
All right, so
awesome.
CJRBs. We got some new ones. I got one that doesn't have a name, but I got one that definitely does. We have a new Laconico CJRB. This is the Echo. And if you've seen this, he actually just started putting out his custom versions of the Echo recently. So he's been telling people, like, if they want the Echo and they can't afford a custom, there's a production coming out. Well, guess what? Here it is. We are still working through this. I got to do a few changes to this one. I think Ray said he wanted the clip in a different place, but this has that signature Laconico style, very clean, has that nice smooth handle shape. This one we have in micarta. We have some G10 ones. We have all these other ones. We have this nice like thumb hole, so you have middle finger flick. It actually fits really well as a regular, like just a thumb roll. Yeah. I am still kind of baffled as why that feels so good. I'm pretty sure the D10 placement allows for it, and then of course there's the front flip.
Okay.
So I'll pass the one to you to check out before I show you the next one.
It looks like really ergonomic too.
It's very comfy.
Oh yeah.
It's just Ray. Like Ray can draw something on a napkin and it'll feel like $1 million. The man really knows his ergonomics really well.
That's perfect, dude.
It's also just like beautifully simple.
Yeah.
Just a strictly bellied blade. For someone like me, so I do a lot of work. Obviously, I work for a knife company. I cut a lot of boxes and tape. Yeah. Having that with that kind of slightly cheek-footy point, with a fine point, and a very much a slicey belly, that for me is that's money. Like that's just like boxes, cardboard, tape, done. That's something I'd use all the time. The size is great, the profile is great. I do think the front flipper on this really brings it together, because that allows for kind of action, because it's like, look where it is. It just kind of comes right off this direction. As your hand sits here and you're just kind of holding the knife, it just naturally kind of just goes up to the top here. Yeah. There's enough jimping here, and it's a light hit to get there. It doesn't get in the way. It's just there. And if you don't want that, the hole's fine. But since we go things and do other things, and since we really want to make sure that everyone's happy, we did a button lock version.
Okay, sweet.
And this one, as you can see, kind of echoes the shape and profile of the Feltor. This one is, or Pyrite, not Feltor, my bad. There's so many rocks in our like lineup. I'm trying hard to find cool rock names for things. It's hard. I'm running out of rocks to work with. Yeah. So we may switch this thumb set over to a hole, maybe not, but this one is a full steel version with the button lock. It is nice and smooth. Still needs to be broken in a little bit. Just came out of the bag yesterday, so you know. But man, this is Ooh, I like this one a lot. I'm not sure if this one's gonna happen, but I think it probably is. If Ray gets his hands on it, I know he's gonna like that one.
Yeah.
But
Well,
the way that feels with the steel and the weight and just like that like nice poppy button.
yeah, and the
Oh, it's so
popularity
good.
of the button locks right now, man.
Yeah. But I'm also like, can we put the hole on this one?
Yeah.
Just like, we'll see. We still gotta work these out. They are still prototypes, and I gotta get them to Ray. As soon as I leave the show, they're going right in a box to Ray to see what he thinks.
Okay.
If he says go for it, then that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And they'll be out very soon. That is the Echo.
I'm liking the Echo, and
It's
I like
good.
the button lock.
EKKO, not ECHO. Yeah,
Okay.
EKKO. All right, so next we have the Riff. This is, well, okay, so it's a little chunky.
Yeah.
This is a much more robust button lock. There's much more like, I'm not sure if I want to call it tactical, but it is a more robust, bigger knife. We did some metal inserts on some of these to add a bit more flavor. I'm not sure that's going to go into final production, but I like the way this looks. I do like the fact that it's got some character to it. And this one also has this big fuller, so it does middle finger flick very well. Like the full thing here is a fuller.
Jeez.
So in hand, this thing's got some mass to it.
It's a fuller.
It is. I like that. It feels great. Again, with the lack of rock names, I was like, you know, why don't we just call it something after, you know, another kind of rock? I was like, you know, what's that? Riff? Guitar riff? It's the Riff. That's rock. I had to mess with it, but I also like the idea this is something that is really taking the button locks that we've been seeing as a standard in this industry. Like, everyone that is doing a button lock right now has a easy, EDC, comfortable, you know, pants-friendly, lightweight button lock.
Yeah.
This
Do something
is
a little more
different. This is a bigger, heavier, harder to use, chunkier, more like aggressive, different. It is a different take on a lot of button locks I currently see. And as the popularity of button locks is going to grow this year, I have no doubt we're going to see a ton of button locks from every company.
Yeah.
This is something different. I really do want to keep. I love this black and brass one. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's cool.
so good looking. I think we have a bronze one over there too, like a green and bronze.
Okay.
Looks amazing. Just,
Yeah.
oh, this is great. All right, so that's the Riff. We have that with the metal. We also have one with just plain micarta.
Okay.
This one I don't have a name for. I feel bad because it's very iconic looking. I like the way it is. It feels like it should have a name, but I'm still working on it. So if anyone's got a comment, shoot me there. I could use some good ideas. We need two versions. This one here is the good old classic flipper thumb stud. Very much a tactical button lock folding knife. It kind of like a short. I was hoping to get this a little bit longer, but I think a 3.75 is a good all-rounder. But the way this sits in hand is very much a full grip knife. This is meant to be something that can act as an EDC or a backup knife. And with the button, very smooth, relatively quiet. Thumb studs are accessible, flipper is easy, and this one is just a minimal choil version, so you have a lot more blade on this one. I really, the name has been a pain because there's so many names that can go with this, but it really feels like it should have something that speaks to its style.
Yeah.
And it is a much more tactical product.
Yeah.
I like the idea this is something that is a bit more, for a market that's for a bigger, more accessible, more streamlined, high-speed, low-drag kind of knife.
Yeah. It deserves a good name.
It does. We also have another version of this one. We're not sure which one we're going to go for. I like this one a bit more personally, but I can see why this is going to appeal to a different crowd as well.
Yeah.
This one, excuse me.
Interesting.
Yep, has the finger choil, and this one does not have a flipper. This is just a button lock one.
Okay.
So more low profile in the pocket.
Yeah.
And the speed holes. This is a full steel frame with that kind of like all the cutouts in there. Honestly, as much as this reminds me of some other knives I've grown up with in my childhood that have a skeletonized frame that you know the one I'm talking. Yeah. We all know that one. But it feels great. I like the way that feels in hand. Like we contoured the steel a little bit towards the chamfer for the finger groove.
Yeah.
I'm like the lock bar cutout. Wait, those are lock bar. The finger choil.
Yeah.
Right there. There we go. So it's kind of chamfered a little bit. It has some nice like grip in hand, even though it's all steel. It doesn't rely on the handle texture. It relies on the handle shape, and it locks in pretty nicely.
Yeah.
Also, I do like that skeletonizing. It's cool
pretty
looking.
cool.
It's not a light knife. It's still a fairly hefty steel knife, but it's cool. It's big. It's not massive, but the way that looks, just like the profile of that, is so good.
I don't always like the skeletonized or the see-through style.
You don't see them a lot.
But I like this one a lot.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It's something you haven't seen for a while. It's something that is not as common these days. Mostly it's going to be milled on the inside with a G10 scale.
Yeah. Or you'll have a liner in there, you know, instead of a button lock, so it doesn't, it's not as cool, you know, as something completely see-through like that.
Also, I will say, for the durability factor, this is like 2 slabs of steel with a blade. Like, this is a durable, heavy-duty knife that doesn't weigh a huge amount. This is got all the factors, at least in my opinion, of a effective, smaller tactical folder. I mean, if we're going like regular size, like, yeah, this is a perfectly good EDC. Something that if you have larger hands, comfortable. If you have something, if you want like a bigger, more like robust grip, if you happen to like hammer gripping your knives, you sick bastard. If you happen to like this, yeah, there you go. This works great. You have a lot of room there for options. Whereas something like Pyrite, this is very much it's a smaller knife. It fits nicely in the hand. This allows more space, more options, more functionality. I dig it.
So what's your favorite prototype that you got going on here? The one you're most looking forward to selling?
Oh, God, I'm here with a bunch of designer knives. They're all going to kill me. All right, I'm honestly split between these two. And nothing against, Ferrum or Mike Snowdy. Like, Snowdy, I am excited to see his face when he sees this knife. I'm waiting for him. He's got to be here sometime soon. Yeah. This one surprised the living hell out of me because I did not expect to love this one as much as I do. But as a diehard Cerberus knives fan at this point, Chris with all of his one curve production knife, I've watched this one unfold for the last year, and to see it here, cool. It's just like this is something that I know that if I'm buying these with my own gosh darn money. I am buying this knife. I love it. I feel this is exactly what I want to carry. Yeah. At the same time, though, I do love Ray's stuff. Yeah. And this one for me is kind of hitting exactly what I want to see from him. I actually just got one of his customs. I adore it. I love it. But there is something about having one of his knives in an accessible level like this. Like, this is going to be priced in that, like, $50 range. Yeah. This might be one of the most affordable and accessible Laconicos out there. And not only is that, you're getting a model that's modeled after a current custom. You get to have the Echo in pocket. Yeah. And the novelty and the idea of that I can just like, I can talk to Ray and say, hey, Ray, I want to buy a custom Echo. Like, yeah, I'd love that. I want one. God, they're amazing. But to have this and just be like, yeah, I'm going to use this one and enjoy it and enjoy the custom and probably still use the custom, but having one that I can have as a beater or daily knife, this talks to me. It talks to me about the things that I love in the industry, and seeing things like this come to life. We're seeing these beautiful customs turn into something that is not only accessible, but also good looking in its own way. Yeah. These both talk to me a lot. I'm really excited. I would say, like, me personally, for like, I'm kind of a budget knife guy. Like, I've got nice ones too, but it's like, I have a hard time carrying them every day. For like everyday carry, I would probably go for this one. I really like the design of these two, though. And in hand, that thing's just a beast. They're all good. So we got winners this year. They're all really great. All the CJRBs, I think the thing about these, all of these are going to appeal to the right person. Yeah. Like, I am probably going to go with the Lago as my personal favorite out of the button locks, but I know there's someone who's going to love this knife. Yeah. I know there's someone that's going to absolutely just go wild for this thing. Yeah. I know there's someone that's going to look at this and say, this is, why do we not have this in full top? Why is Ray not making this? Why is Ray not like doing the final finishing on this knife? I get it. Everyone's going to like something here. Yeah. And the CJRB line this year is really meant for that. We want this to kind of spread the brand, get these knives out there, and have things that make a variety of people happy. I think CJRB has done a great job of doing that. We've done a great job highlighting the designers on the artisan side, but man, we want the CJRB brand to have things for everyone. Yep. And I think we nailed it.
I think you did too, man. Awesome stuff. I appreciate your time, man. Absolutely. Russell.
Thank you so much, man.
You're the man.
Nice talking to you.
Thanks.